So welcome again of the collective, which was the Red Vic. Maybe let's just start there. Like I've done my homework a little bit, but you guys were, I think, 10 of you just said, hey, let's start a movie theater.
Exactly. Maybe there were 9 of us.
A little closer.
There were 9 of us. We all worked for a group called Citizens Action League, which was a community organizing group in the city. And we'd get together every night after work and think about what we could do. And we thought it would be great to do a movie theater. And we wanted to do it in the Haight or in Inner Sunset. And that's how it all got started.
So were you movie aficionados? Was this sort of the impetus, or was it more like a gathering? What was the impetus? What was the main core?
We were movie buffs, and it was just something we loved, so we thought it would be fun to do. Yeah. And one collective member, Brad Reed, had been an assistant manager as a teenager at a theater in Michigan. So he was the experienced one of the group, and he had the inside, industry experience, as it were,
of how to work a reel-to-reel, right. Like the machinery and everything.
No, nothing.
How to tear tickets.
Right.
And sleep up at the end of the night. That was all we knew.
Okay, how to tear tickets.
And I had been in a collective and in the collective movement in Vermont, so I brought in all the experience of how collectives work.
Wow. So you're originally from Vermont. Maybe we should establish that. Originally from Vermont, Betsy.
Yes, and actually none of us were from San Francisco. All of us were from the Midwest or New England.
It's funny because I'm here. I'm here. I'm from here. And I, in 1986, had enough with the hippie shit and moved to New York for 8 years. Mm-hmm. But I came back. But it's funny because people from the Midwest or East Coast, I just connect with, especially the Midwest, Wisconsin, Detroit. I mean, there's something about salt of the earth that.
She's Ohio.
Yeah, there's no bullshit. You guys are no bullshit. It's like, whatever, man. There's a let's get things done mentality. So I just had to throw that out there. So welcome.
At the outset, we have a gift for you.
Oh.
This is a Red Vic postcard. So feel free to.
I'll float that in. Thanks, and I do have free magazines for you and stickers for Haight Street Voice Radio as well.
Thank you.
So I won't let you leave without your sweater or the sticker or the magazine.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
So, so maybe let's talk a little bit about the burglary before you even started.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about that when we were not on camera yet.
Can we do a little show and tell here?
Please.
I'll do
Again, I can float those in as we go along in the post-production.
This was our original calendar. And as you can see, we were supposed to open.
I remember those.
This is being filmed, right?
Yeah.
So
here,
as you can see,
here, I'll hold it.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay.
We were supposed to open on July 14, and we had the burglary, which, I thought we had
It was right on top.
Flyer for that. Anyway, we had a burglary, and
there it is.
Instead, we opened on July 25th. We were supposed to open with Casablanca, and we ended up opening with Outrageous. We posted that on the door to say, sorry.
Due to the burglary of films, projection equipment, etc., our opening night our movie will be Outrageous. And this is actually the day that I met them.
Oh, please tell me, Rhian.
I was not one of the original 9. And I was not a Citizen Action member, but I was at the time learning. I was organizing with the United Farm Workers Movement.
Wow. And
the night of the second opening, the real opening, 2 friends that I was organizing with, Louise Anlian and Kevin Drew, said, "Hey, our friends are opening a movie theater today in the Haight. Want to go?" So of course I did, because I also love movies, and I'd also been in some collectives. Wow. So we went, and that's when I first met them. And then not too long after, maybe a half a year or so. So anyway, I started hanging out with them.
No, that's so beautiful because, we're freeform. This is freeform radio, ladies and gentlemen. It's a podcast. I just don't like the word. That y'all aren't even from here, and y'all sort of ended up, doing the thing that, quite frankly, all of my friends and family that are from the Bay Area adore the Red Vic, or adored it. I mean, it was such a I mean, we'll talk about the popcorn and the yeast, and all of that. But I mean, and Danny Glover coming by. I love that story.
Yep.
But it was such a, and I really hope something comes back and it was such a gathering. It was fun. And that maybe tell me the story about that old couch that I always loved. I know there's a little story behind that, right?
There was one couch that was nicknamed the Blue Lagoon, but we somehow were able to not have to use theater seats, and we just loved the idea of having couches and comfort. And so we went over to Oakland to a huge thrift store, Volunteers of America, and we bought.
Wait, that's the name of a Jefferson Airplane.
It is,
album.
yeah. It was
I like
a
that.
massive store, and it had loads of couches. I don't think any of them were more than $10, and we just got a truckload of couches. And the Blue Lagoon, actually, we found some silver dollars in it afterwards, so we actually
We made a profit. That was our first profit.
Love it. Wow, that's so kismet. But a lot of people listening to this, because my audience tends to be, my age, a little older, but oh my God, now they know the story. Thank you.
Yeah.
They know the story of that couch. What happened to what's the fate of the Blue Lagoon?
We
is she
had
still-
a program, as I recall, that we had a sign, if you have an old couch that you don't need anymore, we would like to take it. So we basically had an influx of nice new, used, abandoned couches. And so over time, we'd take a kind of a look at which one needed to go out. And sadly, I would imagine the Blue Lagoon is at the bottom of a landfill somewhere. Right.
We love you, Blue Lagoon.
Yeah,
Shout
right.
out. Shout out. Yeah.
But one of the sub themes.
That was a good segue, but
Yes.
sitting, yeah.
One of the sub themes here is that because we never planned on the couches originally,
Right.
we were going to have real theater seats.
Yeah.
We just couldn't afford them. So at one point we run out of money and said, "Oh no, what are we going to do?" So Betsy and Martha, the two women, drove over to Oakland in this big truck, came back with all these couches that it was just kind of a improvised thing that we did. And one of the nice things about it was we didn't have a set number of people who could fit into the theater. We were zoned for 49, but
I wrote down 80, I think it said.
we were thinner back then, so more of us
True. Well, Larry, Moe, and you guys are fitting pretty well on the makeshift here. On my Blue Lagoon.
more of us could fit into the couches back then, and we had one collective member, Terry, who was kind of big and imposing, who would come in and would make instant friends. He'd say, "You're sitting there, and you're sitting there," and we'd get 6 people on one couch. So there were times we did have 80 people in this space zone for 49.
But then I think we also have to talk about having to lose the couches. Yes. When we had to leave the Red Victorian Hotel and move down the street.
Yeah, the numbers where you
they
were
no
original-
longer allowed the couches.
Oh, okay. You had to lose. Okay, that's what happened.
And then
because you were at 1659 Haight originally and moved to 1727. Haight.
Exactly.
Okay,
And
which
that
is
was
now
after- right.
where the Booksmith is now.
Exactly.
Correct. Just to
Yeah.
have people that are watching, I'll
Right.
float in some images, but
Right. And just kind of a point of interest that originally in 1979, when we got this all going, we wanted the space that is now Wasteland, which was a supermarket that had Superba Market had closed, but that was a theater. And if you walk in there, you can kind of see it. It was the Buena Vista Theater. And I think it was vaudeville at one point and then went into movies, but that just didn't work out.
so interesting because I was there, but I was too busy at the I-Beam. I wasn't thinking about movies.
I think it had closed in like the 40s, it had closed
Okay.
a long, and it had been a small supermarket, and then
Then it was a toy store for a while.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Now,
like-
were you guys here? When did you arrive? And I know that the theater didn't start until the 80, but you were here how many years prior to 80?
I came in
as far as-
'77.
I came in 77.
So did you ever frequent Night Break or I-Beam or all of
yeah,
this?
all those places.
Yeah.
Because I really would love reflections on
Absolutely.
that because everybody that is listening to this probably went there. Like having come from another city, another place, and seeing the Haight and going to the I-Beam, can you, any reflections?
It was an interesting time because I think after the Summer of Love, that was a high point, and I think in the 70s there were some definite low points on the Haight.
Bad drugs.
In fact, somewhere in here, I'll pull it out in a second. I've got an old Haight-Ashbury newspaper that talks about a meeting between the merchants and the anarchists because gentrification had already started and the rents were starting to rise in the late 70s, early 80s. And there was this anarchist movement that was going around and spray painting and tossing a few bricks through windows. In fact, there was even a meeting in the merchants. And during the meeting, somebody threw a brick through a window.
Oh, no.
You were at that meeting?
Yeah, they would enclose a
Let me find that.
Wow.
like they'd put their flyer around.
Anything
the
we put it aside so we remember.
Yeah. But I was at that meeting, and as the meeting was going on about the anarchists throwing bricks, crash. It was at at what used to be the Haight Street Deli. I'm not sure. I think maybe. I'm not sure what, but the Haight Street Deli was run by a woman who was very involved in community stuff. So we did a lot of community meetings there and stuff. Yeah.
God bless you,
Yeah.
because I mean, I'd like to sort of that doesn't. I mean, they still have the Hank meetings, Haight-Ashbury Neighborhood Council.
Right.
But
And Hank was around back then, I think.
Yeah. But it sounds like, I don't know. This is just me. I only because of this magazine, I started going to things like that more, to these neighborhood meetings. But was that something that more like you were all in your 30s or whatever? Was there sort of like more of a community vibe back then? Because I feel like now it's a little different. Does that make any sense to you? Like, I feel like you guys were so energized.
Yeah, I think there was a really good community spirit at the time. There were still a lot of vacant storefronts and a lot of kind of big old used furniture places and thrift stores, but it just felt like a nice, tight neighborhood with some real community leaders.
Yeah.
Well, you were on
I found the newspaper. It says here, anarchists talk to paper. Merchants call in DA. And there's an account here about how the merchants were meeting and then suddenly brick came through the window.
Oh, I'm going to have to borrow that and take photos so the folks can see all of that. That's beautiful. Oh, my. Anarchists talk to paper.
But then on page 7 is an article, Movies Return to the Haight, because we were just starting the theater. And
wow.
This says it was going to start on July 14th.
Right.
But as we explained, our opening was delayed.
And we did talk about that, not that it matters, but the villain was apprehended, the burglar.
I remember
No one was
some
apprehended.
people running out to chase, but not succeeding. There was like, boom, so.
And I mean, is he running down the street with like equipment?
No, it happened in the middle of the night. So we honestly had no idea.
We heard later on that it was somebody who knew the manager who was living upstairs and came in from the hotel upstairs. But,
Quite frankly, the whole hotel thing, you guys were the movie theater down, the Collective was the downstairs, and then how many people were living? I don't even really know how the hotel worked.
it was two very separate businesses.
Okay.
And,
it's a little confusing. I think a lot of people are like, wait,
Yeah.
is this a theater or is this a hotel?
right.
Yeah.
And the upstairs was a separate business. It was a hotel. And we were a completely separate business. And we had a 10-year lease. And when the lease was over, we got kicked out. And it was, it was very controversial. And
We tried negotiating. We tried lawyers. We tried sitting around, friendly, talking.
right.
Nothing.
Did you hit up?
But
No, go
in
ahead.
the end, it worked out best for both parties because we moved one block up the street.
1727,
Went from
yeah.
1727, where the Booksmith is now, and went from 16 millimeter to 35 millimeter. We had more seats. And the owner of the Red Vic at that time, Sammy Sunchild, wanted to do her own thing and have a salon, which was what she did then.
Sunchild's Parlor, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a win-win, really, as it turned out.
I mean, I guess, I don't, since we're here, maybe just briefly, because I know a lot of people were all like, what the fuck is going on? We can curse on the show. What the heck is going on? It's just sitting there. And I really want to clear the air that it's not you guys. You're not sitting on this thing. It breaks your heart. that
We
it's-
left there in 1990.
Betsy just took me by there. I hadn't been by in a while, and she just took me by because she's it's so sad to see
Yeah.
how decrepit it is and that nobody's
Some,
do anything
I
with
thought maybe you knew what was going on. I think all of us don't know what's
All
going
I know is what I read in some paper. I don't know if it was the Chronicle or something, or somebody forwarded me an article. It's a dispute between
on. Landlord.
It's just a dispute between people. Probably a good argument to do good estate planning if you own a building and a business, and but it's tragic to walk by there now. It's just
I
awful.
bet. I mean,
It's
it's
awful.
it's like seeing an old friend.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I have faith. I mean, the Haight, does the Haight feel, other than that, does it feel pretty good around here? It
was great.
I might be projecting.
Just saying. It looks
yeah. It's
The deluxe is coming back at the end of the year.
Oh, nice.
In the edition that I'm giving you, you can read the whole thing and watch the
Oh,
video
that's
with
great.
the new owner, who was an amazing drummer from a really cool punk band years ago, Christian. And they care. They really care. So it is exciting. And Trax Bar is now Mary's Bar. Trax has been there forever. And then a gay couple, they're wonderful. I just feel like there is full circle kind of happening.
Yeah.
You know?
And to get back to your question about nightlife.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. After we closed the theater, we'd go out and we'd go to the IB and we'd go to Rock and Robin's. We'd go to the
Murrio's.
Saloon.
Probably Murrio's.
Yeah. I mean, it was wonderful. Oh, the Gold Cane later on became our
Rock and Robin's. Where was it? Because I remember that.
across from Cha Cha Cha, I think.
It's now.
Is it the donut? No, the donut
No,
shop.
it's a music venue, and Renee owns it. I can't. It's
a music venue.
Milk bar?
Milk
Oh, Milk Bar. Oh,
Isn't it Milk
O'Reilly's.
Bar? I
That was
think it's
Rock
Milk
and
Bar.
Robin's. Okay,
Yeah,
then
I
it became
think. Is that
something
right?
else.
Is that right? Yeah.
That sounds, okay. Okay, that was Rock and Robin's. Okay. And then I-Beam, do you remember who you saw at the I-Beam? I saw Echo and the Bunnymen, The Cure.
Oh, disco
awesome.
night. Just go for disco night.
I remember seeing the Johnny Thunders there. That was a good time. And this is going all the way back to Haight Street Bowl. Right?
Oh, yeah, Rock and Bowl, yeah.
Before Amoeba.
Yeah.
And Amoeba is the greatest place in the world.
It is. Shout out to
just-
Joe Goldmark. He's
Yes.
awesome. I love Joe.
It's wonderful.
Wonderful guy. Great
Before
musician.
that, it actually was a bowling alley, and they would play rock and roll, and you could go bowl. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you ever have any of those rock and roll famous people come into the movie theater? Do you have any stories about that? Or do you have any? I know Danny Glover. Maybe tell me the
Danny Glover, yeah, he would come.
Yeah.
He would just walk in his bathrobe. He would.
Was it green plastic bowl?
Oh my God.
Right, he would show up for the popcorn.
Yeah, he'd come late.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He would just like knock on the door in the middle of a movie and hand his green bowl in there just to get the popcorn and then split.
He was so nice.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Well, he came to a lot of movies too.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still
But-
around.
He did a benefit for us, remember?
Oh, he did. Tell me about that.
Right. It was Places in the Heart, the movie that,
Yeah.
and I don't remember what. Do you remember what it was about? But anyway, he came and he spoke. And he
It had to do with the heart and places.
He spoke just about growing up in the neighborhood and how much this place had meant to him. And this neighborhood is, he associates with his late mom. And he was always wonderful. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the Today Show or the Morning Show or one of those big shows wanted to do a thing with Danny Glover, a little presentation about him, and about his childhood as part of it.
Yeah.
And he asked that we meet at the Red Vic because he loved it there so much.
Oh.
And so he came, and all the camera crews came, and the upscale. The people. It was very exciting. And she said, "I just want to start here because I love this place."
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
I was mentioning, I think to you, Rhian. Sorry, Rhian. I want to say Rihanna, but Ryan.
Yeah.
The Joe Good thing when I called the Muppets on acid, when all these people were rappelling out these windows and dancing, and there was a band over here. But Danny Glover came to one of the performances and was standing out, and you just the look on his, he was just joyous.
Yeah.
I mean, he really just was so thrilled.
He was a great guy.
He's still around. He's still hanging in there. He's still out there. Yeah. And then, did you ever see Last Black Man in San Francisco?
Oh yeah,
Brilliant movie, right?
Yes.
And I think he's in there, right? He's in that movie. Yeah. I'm pretty dang sure. Or
Okay,
at least he's
yeah.
involved in the writing. He's involved in that
He was
movie.
involved, yeah.
But Jimmy Fales, who was one of the main actors in that, he did an artist in residency in this building.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, upstairs there was a picture on the wall. I could have pointed out, but so that's to me, and also my friend Antoinette, who lives down the road. She was born in the building here on Ashbury. In the building, third generation Black woman. Her grandmother bought it. I mean, in the early 50s, 40s, way back. And she just said, the one thing growing up around here, she didn't even know what racism was.
Right.
It didn't exist. And that just, she's probably pushing 70 now, but she said it was just an amazing way to grow up.
This was a great neighborhood. It was extremely diverse, much more diverse back then.
Yeah. But even when you guys were, running the theater,
right.
I mean, do you have any, you did have some stories in that article you sent me. Thank you for that. But do you have any right now that you want to share funny stories about the Red Vic? I think Rhian, what was yours? I wrote it down. Let's see. Let me get my cheat sheets.
I'll tell you one that I always think is funny.
There you go.
It's not an anecdote, but when we opened, we had these little projectors that were like what you had in junior high school.
Yeah.
And we'd show movies, and we kind of didn't want anybody to know. So I just remember we'd go up to the projection booth, open the door, slide in sideways, turn around, because we didn't want people to see a projector that looked like what they, what they had in first grade. So
You wanted the big, huge.
it wasn't that at all. It was this tiny little thing. So
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it was always remember.
It's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, right?
Exactly. It's like, and it was a good projector, and I don't think anybody would have known, but I think people expect a movie projector to be big, like the kind we got when we moved. But I always think of that as kind of fun.
And so who was Manning? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so that's, in a way, the moral of the story is you really don't need to know what you're doing or
As I always say, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know.
any expertise, and you just kind of fake your way through it. And
Well, as Jerry Garcia
Hopefully it
always
works.
says, had fun, that you're having fun. And that you're all having fun together and you're laughing.
It was a party every night. It really was a party every night. And the other thing I feel proud of is that from the day we opened, we did not throw away a cup or a glass. We right then we served the popcorn in wooden bowls, and with butter and nutritional yeast, which was a thing that most people hadn't heard of, but quickly became addicted to.
Totally.
wash.
Yes, and we would wash those, and we baked there too. We had a convection oven, and we'd bake cookies and brownies and
Dinners?
Oh, well, we had a lot of meals there too. Yeah, we had a lot. There was a lot.
Yeah, in fact, I remember Jack's story about the red beans and rice that was made during the Zydeco. Maybe you want to reiterate that story.
Yeah, that was during a screening of Les Blank's Always for Pleasure, which is a great movie about New Orleans and just the sights and the sounds and the cuisine. Yeah. And he has a scene where they're cooking red beans and rice, and Les Blank had something he called either smell-o-vision or smell-o-rama or something like that. And he would actually show up at the screening with a great big pot of red beans and rice, and he'd put it on a cart. He'd whip into the theater and had it like an old-fashioned fan that he would fan over the pot, and people were sitting there. They would have no idea, and they would go, "How am I smelling this?" But then after
It's like scratch and sniff kind of.
After the show, he'd serve it up in bowls, and he wasn't a very talkative guy. Like he didn't want to do a Q&A. Yeah. You would just eat red beans and rice with him. It was great.
That's wonderful. That's
Speaking of Les Blank and the city and independent filmmakers, I mean, that was another amazing, wonderful aspect of the Red Vic and all the repertory theaters in general. But this is the center of independent filmmakers, and a lot of them had retrospectives and premiered their films at the Red Vic, and it was great. Yeah. And while I have the mic, I just wanted to. So the Red Vic, was very special and dear to our hearts and was great. But at the time we existed, there were so many other theaters in the city and so many other repertory theaters.
The Four-Star Theater is still there. I would like to shout out. They're doing great. They have live music there. They have the Flaming Groovies there. It's really cool.
And the Balboa and the Balboa are still around. But this is a list So our Brad used to do these, I think.
Yes.
He made this mini. This is
Oh
a
my
mini.
God.
This is our
Oh my
film schedule, and then he also made this contact sheet for us because we had such a wonderful thing in that time called Pass-In. If you worked at Pass-In,
Passin.
yeah, if you worked at a movie theater, and this included the larger ones too, you had some time off, you would just call. You'd call the movie theater and you'd say, "Hi, it's Rhian from the Red Vic. I'm just wondering if I can come to your 4:00 show today." And almost always they'd say, "Sure."
Oh,
And it was just
you were like rock stars. You had the backstage pass ticket.
yeah. So
That's
everybody could go and see movies.
no
our
idea.
life was movies beyond the Red Vic.
I mean, this
Here's a listing. I'll hand it over to you, Linda, of all the movie theaters.
Thursday, November
Were-
13th, 1980.
Yeah. In fact, it has
The cigarette commercial on the back.
it has a review. Yeah.
That would be marijuana now.
Yeah. It has a review of our very first premiere,
Oh my God.
a movie called The Far Shore. It wasn't the greatest movie. I think it kind of sank without a without a trace, but we were proud of it at the time. But you can see there were, in terms of Bay Area movie theaters.
So many. There were so many.
Yeah, there were.
many.
The
Albany, Berkeley, California 3, the Elmwood,
San Francisco?
El Rey. Wow. Now there's what? There's just frickin' Metreon.
A few big ones, yeah. But
Sorry.
that, yeah.
I don't
But
mean
at
to
that
poo-poo.
time, it was the only way to see a movie. If you wanted to see The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman or anything, it was the only thing you could do was go to a theater, and that was why there were so many. Yeah, right.
Pre-VCR.
Yeah.
Right. Video was a kind of a new word we were all trying to figure out. So yeah.
There's a story about my parents accidentally took me to the Elmwood in Berkeley on College Avenue, right?
Right,
I think
sure.
I think it's gone now.
I think it is.
I
too.
hope it's not, but I think it is.
I think it hung in for a long time.
They accidentally took I'm the Baby of 4, and I think I was maybe, I don't know, 7. They took us to see Swept Away.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I think they thought it was like a beach movie or
Oh,
something.
no.
And all of a sudden, there are people rolling around on the beach.
Yeah.
Woo!
Giancarlo, right.
We sat through that for a little bit, and then I remember Mom, I think we're just going to get out. Yeah. They did take us on purpose to see George Carlin at the Circus Star Theater, too. That was pretty cool. That was cool.
Another long lamented place too.
Yeah. Wasn't that so cool how it spun
Yeah.
around?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel very lucky to have grown up in such a. But again, I moved to New York because you get a little tired of the whatever, But yeah, here, I'm gonna hand that back. I came back. So okay, Ryan, your favorite movie was, or one of your favorites, of course, was Hippie Temptation. Do you want to tell me about Hippie Temptation? I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I'll
if
have
I
to go
actually am
home
the
and
one
watch
that
it.
told you that, but yes, Hippie Temptation. Did we show it at least every year? Did we have a regular time for
Look
it?
it up.
Maybe. But it was was it
love it.
CBS special?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, that very serious CBS newscaster talking
yeah.
about, and here we are on Haight Street, and these are the hippies. And it was like a sociological overview and look into the hippies. So it was very funny for us.
It's Gary Reasoner. Is it Reasoner? Harry Reasoner.
yeah.
Harry Reasoner. Okay, so that's that movie, because I've seen clips of that. I think maybe in the Dead movie, because they're making light of it, right? But
And
that's that movie.
Our
Okay.
source for it, because back in the day, there was no streaming. You had to actually get a physical copy of all these
Yeah.
films. And a local guy, Carl Cohen, who I'm not sure if he's still around, but is he still around?
Carl, if you're around,
Yes,
shout out.
he's still. I'm sure he probably still lives in that house in the Haight, and I still get his. He's very into animation.
Okay.
And I still get his newsletter online.
Cool. So, hi, Carl. glad to hear you're still going strong. But Carl had a copy somehow of 16 millimeter copy of the Hippie Temptation, so that was how we got it. But that was what you had to do back in the day. You had to. Today, I think there are like 3 studios, and they have all the movies, and you just download them. But Back
Oh,
then,
yeah.
you had to do research and figure out who had the actual physical prints of some of these films. And sometimes you would like track them down to someone's garage in L.A.
It's so cool.
Literally.
Talk about a
And-
treasure hunt.
Yeah.
That's a good treasure hunt. Let me ask you this. I mean, this is, again, free form, but so then you had to make the poster. You had to make this. And this is before internet. This is before, printing. I mean, how?
Border tape and rubber cement.
Okay, I love that.
Well,
And
to answer your question,
so you're all artists,
they
clearly.
had something called
That's
what were these
gorgeous.
Oh, what were they called?
One sheets.
one sheets.
Yeah.
And
One sheet, a one sheet.
The
Yeah.
studio would send this out, and it would have like articles. It would have articles that
Thank
you
you
could
for remembering, Betsy. I didn't.
that you could cut out and send into your local paper, and then can you hold this in?
Yes.
You would actually cut it out.
You would cut it out, and you could cut out the actual ad. Let me find it.
They came in the mail.
I mean, it's a
So
beautiful.
This
It's beautiful.
This is what would appear in the newspaper. You would cut it out and like send it into the Examiner or the Chronicle.
And you would literally cut and paste
You
and
would
glue.
literally cut and paste,
And glue.
and so we would get an X-Acto knife to put together these calendars.
I mean, that sounds fun.
It was kind
I
of
love
fun,
making
actually.
collages.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stress choosing the movies, getting this all done to the printer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
And
mean-
then distributing. And
That's what I'm saying. Is
yeah.
financially and time wise and all of that. I mean, it was a constant hustle. Yeah.
Right. And
But-
and as time went on, businesses were a little less reluctant to have a stack of our calendars. But when we started, it was like, fine, because that was how flyers and paper was the only way to get information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not to
Another example of our calendar.
Okay, I'll trade you.
We also read.
It's a one sheet.
Yeah.
I'll be floating these in, ladies and
we,
gentlemen.
we also ran the York Theater for a little while.
So, wait, where's that?
24th. It's now called La Brava.
Oh, which is a
Yes.
great theater, right?
Yeah.
They're doing great down there. Got a bar and the whole thing.
But did you work at the York, Ryan?
yeah, it was great. It was a whole different scene, and
And what did you do? What was your
well,
role?
we everything
Every-
cleared out the rats in the back. We were talking about rats in the alley.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah, it was just a second Red Vic theater, but it was the York, and we only had it for a couple years. How many years? I don't know. Anyway,
It came and went.
yeah.
and then we should say when you closed what was the closing date?
2011.
July
25th.
July 25th.
July 25th.
2011.
Yes.
You played Harold and Maude, which is what you played with in the very opening, correct? Is that right?
No, not
No.
the very opening, but within
Oh,
a
on
few
your
years.
birthday,
But
on
then
the-
it was and then we would give daisies away and serve cake, and it was a great tradition. Yes. Yeah.
Now let's roll forward into 2025. And, we already spoke about how sad it is to see that building, but what would you guys love to see happen? I mean, a movie theater would be great, don't you think?
In that space?
No, just in
Oh,
general. And just in the hate. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe what I'm asking is the value of having a gathering place like that, where it's not just you're all getting together and chatting or drinking, or it's not a bar, it's not a restaurant, it's not just a community center. It's like you're watching a movie, but there is this social aspect.
Right.
And I guess what I'm asking is that possible in this day and age? And also, do you think people, build it, they will come? Do you think people would dig it? It's kind of a random question, but do you think it's possible? Do you think people,
Commercially?
yeah.
I have to say, I'm just going to say one thing, which is that when we started the Red Vic and we went to City Hall, the city could not have been more supportive.
Yeah.
And I, it's really hard to start a commercial enterprise now without knowing that you can make money on it. So,
Yeah.
but-
So real estate.
yeah.
Yeah. Who was the mayor then? Was it Moscone?
I think.
And was it Moscone?
All right, who
It
came
was
after
It
Fine?
was after Moscone.
It was Diane Feinstein. It was
Okay,
Diane
Feinstein.
Feinstein. Yes,
Okay.
she was Diane Feinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, who had Boy, there are a lot of things. The more you think about, remember the White Panther? Did you
Oh,
Yeah.
recall?
I think Jack was going to say something about whether it could be possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I think
know.
you're right, because the Red Vic was always about community. It was just about it didn't matter what movie you saw.
No.
And a lot of people don't even remember the exact film. It's just getting together with other people and having a good time and being with others and having this communal experience. And I do have to say, we're very pleased that the Booksmith has carried on in that space. And
Shout out to Kristen Evans.
yeah,
absolutely.
big shout out to her. And that I think has kind of taken the baton a little bit, and people can get together for readings.
Yeah, I've
and
been to a couple there. They're wonderful.
Yeah,
Joel
they-
Sullivan was down there.
I think they can
Yeah.
move the shelves out and
Yeah.
get a crowd in there. So we're really pleased that is continuing, and that
And then they have
still seems
Olympic
to be
next- Olympic.
that's still a community hub.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
take this somewhere else. So
Jane, you ignorant slut. Point, counterpoint, remember that?
it's one of my favorite lines.
That's
Thank
one of
you
my
for-
favorite lines ever. Ever. Yeah. Especially when you got a mic in your hand. Yeah. Jane, you ignorant slut.
So just briefly, I think what's great about the movie theaters that exist here still today, the Balboa, the 4-Star, the Roxy. I mean,
Thank God the
they
Roxy.
all have other support. They do not make it
Yeah.
from ticket sales.
Right.
So it's so great that they've been able to do that.
Yeah.
And whoever's, just keep supporting. You got to go, people. You got to go to the
It's
theater.
true. It's true.
That's one thing. But so another thing that happened at one point, the movie theater up in Monte Rio on the Russian River was for sale. And we took a field trip up there thinking this was before we got the York.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, well, maybe we'll get this theater. And we all went up there and we looked around and dreamed. And then we all looked at each other and said, yeah, but who's going to live here? And in fact, I now live there. I now live in Monte Rio. And the theater is going strong. It's been through many, many owners, but it's back in action. And the people that are there now are, doing everything, which is you kind of have to do. They show movies, they do music, and it's just, you just really have to work hard. And it is up there too. It's about community. You have to, every Wednesday night now they do a talent show or open mic.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened there. It was a good ending.
And I think also, not that this is radio, but KALW is still going along.
Oh, they're great.
They're
And
hanging
they're
in there.
moving to a beautiful new space soon.
Oh yeah, but right now they're down on what is it down there? Montgomery, I think.
They have 220 Montgomery community space, and they're moving to another.
And God bless them for surviving. You know,
They're great. It's a great station.
Yeah, and then KEXP I think is doing a great job, and but we were again so lucky to be here, like during KUSF.
Right.
I mean, come on, that was great. Tom Donahue. I mean, there was just so many
City.
great.
Remember the City? That was my favorite station.
Oh, that was the city,
Yeah.
right. And then one day, it wasn't on the air.
And then there was KSAN.
Yeah.
KSAN. But I think I just, that maybe just because that's when I was growing. I was a kid, 17, 16, 18. But, the cool radio stations, the cool shows we were going to, and the Red Vic, and the cool movies we were looking at. Am I being nostalgic? Maybe, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, we're allowed.
We are allowed?
Because we also still love the city that's here, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted maybe Jack or Betsy to talk about the other thing that was
Please.
important at the time was there was a very large collective movement, a lot of collectives.
Right. There were several community food stores, and just Outer Avenues was there, and they're one of the few survivors, I think. But and Rainbow.
Rainbow.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there were a lot of collectives all around the city. And
To me, that's something I didn't really know. And there's Co-op. Isn't Co-op still around? In Berkeley, but that's Berkeley.
Yeah.
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 I didn't really grow up. I think a lot of people my age or younger. There is a collective, a clothing collective here, but it's kind of I think it's a little bit of an old concept, but I think it might be making a resurgence.
Yeah, that would
collectives?
be good.
That's where
the idea is that if
What's
you
the
work
root?
there,
Yeah.
okay, if you work there, you're an owner. And if you don't work there, you're not an owner. And and I came from that movement in Vermont. There were a lot of food co-ops, and there was a big co-op movement, and we'd meet. And the other thing about a co-op is that you, I'm getting some memories here. You have to make all decisions by consensus.
Oh.
Which means if you're in a collective, you're spending a lot of time sitting around in a room, coming to your decisions about everything from how much to charge for popcorn to who's going to sweep under the couches tonight, and it's not an efficient way to do things, but I have really great memories of the collectives I was in.
How about you, Jack?
This does bring
Plead the
back
fifth.
memories.
He looks scared.
The other thing I was remembering was we had decided that everyone would do everything. We wouldn't have like
Right.
the men doing
Right.
the
Well, yeah.
projection
Yeah.
and the women doing the
Yeah.
baking. So
Hallelujah.
we rotated everything, which kind of meant everything was a little bit crappy. Some of the time, the movie
exactly
may or may not be in focus. And I remember one time, one of our projectionists showed something. This is much later, and we actually had a digital projector, and she showed it in black and white because she didn't know which button to push for color. But nobody complained, and it's a very fair way to do things.
It's charming, is what
Yes,
it is.
it
It's
is.
charming. Yeah, it's nice when things are a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we all got to be actually pretty good projectionists, I think.
And bakers.
And bakers.
Popcorn makers.
Oh, is there a secret to the popcorn making? Maybe we can impart this information. Do you
We
have
would use
make it at home?
real oil. And
What kind of oil? Good oil?
Yeah.
We use
good oil.
organic popcorn, good quality oil, and I really think that after a short time, that popcorn machine just seasoned. It was just a seasoned popcorn machine, and any cook knows a seasoned pot or pan enhances the flavor.
Where is that machine now? Is it?
We tried to keep it going. I mean, it was starting to set on fire, and then it was out. No, actually, it was out at the Balboa for a while. We gave it to the Balboa, and then I think it finally just died. You can only do so many millions of batches of popcorn in your life, I think. So, yeah. But we had a few close calls with that thing, with grease, and yeah.
It must be hard. I mean, do you guys still go to the movies? It must be hard not to have a little bit of an attitude, like, ugh, this popcorn, or you want the old days back. Do you still go to movies?
We do.
Jack runs a movie theater at home.
Yes, tell Jack.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually show a monthly movie for my community up where we live.
Where is it?
We live in San Mateo.
Okay.
So in our little neighborhood,
Yeah.
we have a community center, and Betsy and I pick a movie and show it every month. So yeah, we've kept our hand in.
And is there yeast popcorn?
There's not. We should get that going again.
I think you really need to. Yeah. I'll be there. No, and shout out to San Mateo. It's the Bay Area.
We do also all live here too.
Yeah.
We haven't given up the city. But I had to start taking yeast with me to movie theaters to make sure I would have it on my popcorn. But more theaters, more and more have
And
it.
is there a special kind of yeast that we buy?
Red Star nutritional yeast.
Yes, so it's what they sell.
I don't know if it's still Red Star, but
It's in bulk at the whole. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And you just sprinkle that on there. Because
Yeah.
I've never done it, and I'm going to try.
Oh my goodness!
This kid, you can try at home.
Yes.
Yeah, butter and yeast.
I think we should. I don't think we did it on air. You were going to read our original prices and that amazing.
Oh, that'd
and
be
that,
great.
And that
Yeah,
hefty
yeah.
annual membership fee.
Yes.
No, just
Did you have a lot of yearly members? I mean, good handful.
Yes, I think you had to be a member. There it is. It was part of your original.
Isn't that how it worked? So here, Betsy, you do this.
I can't read. I need.
You want my glasses? Here, does these work?
Okay, it was $250 membership. Oh, $250 ticket plus 50 cents for the annual membership.
50
cents. And that is because you didn't have to pay, you had to pay tax on ticket sales or something like that, or you didn't have to pay tax on them. Oh no, you had to pay a percentage on the ticket sale to the distributor, but the membership fee, you didn't have to pay a percentage of that. So that 50 cents.
50 cents a year? Okay,
Yes.
is this a month?
50 cents annual membership, except for matinees were $1.50.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
But
Yeah.
how did we do that? Did we, like we just said, are you a first time here? It's 50 cents extra? I can't remember how
Well, we had the cards.
Yeah, you had
you got the
card.
That's
Right,
So
right.
the first time you came,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had to fork over 2 quarters.
Right.
to get
Yeah.
your membership card.
Right.
And then you would bring it.
And did the majority of people have membership cards? Is that
They had
Kind
to.
of had to.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, even if you knew you were never going to come back, you had to buy an annual membership fee. Right.
For 50 cents.
Or 50 cents.
So how did I get into the Red Vic when I didn't have a membership? Or maybe I
Oh,
went.
you probably walked in and thought the ticket was $3 and didn't think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You get the big discount when you
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
then you come back and only $2.50, you get 2 quarters back to buy popcorn and a drink. Yes.
Now, did you serve beer there? I can't remember.
No.
No. I think that would have been a pain in the butt.
Their own.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Was
Yeah,
that
that's another thing. I don't think we ever realized how much people smuggled into movie theaters before. It was,
Well, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, especially the surf movies.
Oh,
The-
God, that's right.
People smoking weed.
At one point, when Maverick started,
Oh,
we
yeah.
started showing some Mavericks
Yeah.
documentaries, and the surfers would show up, and they would just walk in with a 6-pack, and we'd be like, "Okay," and they were surfers.
Oh, my
And
God.
I think one of the first movies at the York was Jimmy Cliff or a reggae
he-
movie. And those rafters, we had a big balcony there. The smoke was just, you could barely
yeah.
get through.
Wow.
I think our first nightmare cleanup was after the Cream Farewell concert movie. I think we went in and it was atrocious.
Now, were you guys going to concerts, by the way? Speaking of Cream, were you going to the Fillmore? Were you going to the rock and roll that was happening? I mean, we already talked about the I-beam, but I guess maybe by that
You went way more than I did.
Not so much. Yeah, we were showing movies.
you were busy
every
with
night.
the damn theater.
We were.
Yeah, you know what? Isn't
that's-
that funny?
It's a lot of work because back then you had to put the movies together. They would come in. In fact, there was a depot. The films would come to the depot. We'd have to go pick them up, transport them to the theater, and they were heavy. These cans were like 50 pounds each. And we had a platter system, so we would build the films. We would splice all the reels together and put them on this big platter that would play off and go through the 35 millimeter projector. Wow. And we'd project it. And you would just pray that you put the film together in the right order. Because if not, that was a bit of a problem. This wasn't, this ain't digital. This is physical.
What was the? Do you have a disaster
film.
story where the thing completely fell apart? All three of you. It was like, hear no evil, see no evil.
Here's our first nightmare that I remember.
Nightmare number one.
It's Thanksgiving and we're showing Mozart's The Magic Flute. And we didn't think, who comes to the movies on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Full house. We turn on The Magic Flute and with this beautiful opening note, it was like,
That's good.
so we're like running out. Okay, we're gonna try it again. And everybody waits. Same time. And we had to give everybody free passes. That was a bad night.
It was just a bad track.
People were, well, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was, people were very nice about it.
Oh
though.
yeah, I can get angry about that.
I don't know why. I just started thinking about another funny little memory too. Is
Please.
we ordered a
That's what
film
this is
called way back, a film called Quartet, and it had Alan Bates and Glenda Jackson. It was one of these movies, and we put it on, and what comes up is Quartet, and it was like this 1936 Hollywood movie. So we stop it.
Quartet.
Yeah. It's just they'd sent us
Same
the wrong
title.
quartet. So I just remember walking out. You know those books you used to have because pre-internet.
It was Leonard Maltin.
You look, Leonard Maltin's book, and I walk out and I tell people what happens, and then I open the book and I said, "This movie has 3 stars in the Leonard Maltin book," and I read the description and I say, "We'll give you a refund if you want, or you can stay and watch a different quartet." And most people stayed, which was really nice.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I was just,
This isn't a disaster, but it was just,
okay.
one of those crazy, interesting experiences that came through and actually stayed for a while. American Pictures.
Oh, right.
talk about
Yeah.
That's the fun about community shit. You never know what's going to go wrong, and that's the fun part, kind of, right?
Yeah, American Pictures was Jakob. I'm blanking on his last name, but he was from Denmark and he'd gone through the United States and done pictures. He became really interested in poverty in America because people in Europe think everybody in the United States is rich, and he went into the deep South and he just took photographs of people who had nothing and were put a slideshow together, and it became hugely popular. And he would always be there. He had to be there to narrate it. And that was really one of to me, that was one of the better things that we ever did. That was
That's
amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So we need more of that kind of thing,
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to just be hippie stuff. I keep
Right.
saying hippie down there.
Yeah.
But, all of that.
Yeah.
Well,
we all had a big social conscience and tried to do benefits whenever we could. And that was a big part of who we were from the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, okay. We should probably wrap it up.
edit too.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so Haight Street Voices, and thank you for being here, all you. This has been really fun. Haight Street Voice is hyper local with a global perspective. So I always ask people at the end of the show, what would you like to say to the Haight community in general, and also what would you like to say to communities everywhere? And what's in this day and age, in this nutty world that we're living in, what would you like to say to the Haight community and community everywhere?
I mean, I guess I would start by saying, having first come here in 1977 and being really involved, I as much as nostalgic as I am for the early 80s, Ryan and I just walked through. We walked by the new building where the new apartments where McDonald's is.
Yeah.
And it looked beautiful. Alvord Lake looks beautiful.
That's nice to hear,
And
because we were pissed.
I didn't know what would happen there, but I just feel like this street looks really good right now. It has a good feeling to it.
So wonderful to hear, because when you
yeah.
live here, you don't you don't really see it. So
And also, I've seen a lot of people coming in and shopping and looking happy. That feels like a good energy to me. So.
yeah, good.
I guess I would say, well, so I was telling Betsy when I was talking to my husband about coming to do this, because I met my husband while I was working at the Red Vic, and we courted
What's your husband? Oh, courted.
Thomas.
Hi,
Shout out
Thomas.
Thomas.
Good job. She's a keeper, man. Keeper.
There's a long story behind that, but we won't get into it. Anyway,
They were courting.
so yes, we were courting. There was a special upstairs next to the projection booth was a tiny little balcony up above the theater, and so special people could
Was it
sit
Romeo
there.
and Juliet?
Oh, kind of, yeah. And anyway, that was a different story. The popcorn, the popcorn on the, who was it, Kevin? Okay. Anyway, sorry. You'll have to cut this. But what he said when I was coming over here, he said, it's not, the Red Vic was absolutely great and it's a wonderful story and a wonderful place. But he said the real story and the story to people out there is that people just got together and decided to do it. And they like we've said, there wasn't a whole lot of experience, but there was the will and you can still do that.
You can still do that. That's right. I love that. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, and the only thing to add is that if you miss the Red Vic, go to the Roxy. It's still going strong. In fact, they have a campaign. I think they just bought their building, so it's still up and going, and it has that Red Vic energy, and I think they've even taken over yearly showings of Harold and Maude. So The Roxy's a great place. We always loved it, and I would just put in a good word for them.
Awesome.
Okay, I can't help myself. I
Yeah,
just
go
have to
ahead.
say, I have 2 cats, a brother and sister, and their names are Harold and Maud.
I'm a cat. I'm a
Not
cat
exactly
girl.
the same relationship as the movie.
Right. And when we closed and showed Harold and Maude, that movie represented everything that the Red Vic was.
It does, and it's one of my, having been from here and just see, the footage of when they're driving up Highway 1.
Right.
I mean, every time I've seen that movie 8 million times, I cry. I mean, it's. No, be yourself, and the Cat Stevens and all of that. So thank you guys for being here. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I'm getting all teary eyed because it's really important that because ironically or not ironically, but a lot of young folks are digging the magazine and the this whatever I'm doing here. Like I don't know what I'm doing, but whatever I'm doing, but. It feels really good to have people in this building. Thank you, SF Heritage, by the way. Thank you for letting me do this radio in residency. I'm honored Norm Larson and the Doolin family. Ever grateful for that. And we got to keep the stories going and communication. And like kids will be like, oh my God, they opened a movie theater. Why wouldn't we maybe just try that out? Or whatever it is. Try it. And if you fail, that's okay too.
Absolutely.
And here's the outro, kids.
Okay.
Larry, Moe, and Curly over here. Wait, who would do the thing of who would be hear no evil, see no evil before I turn it off?